All right. Well, Arnaldo, man, long time no see. I guess it's been since convention, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to see you. You're looking good.
Happy
Looking
to be
good,
here.
feeling good, right?
Happy to be here.
We appreciate you coming on today. You know, when I was speaking to the team and we were thinking about this topic, you know, understanding the consumer experience and how that impacts the fitness industry, we really couldn't think of anybody better to take us through that, help us understand kind of the ins and outs of that than you.
Awesome,
Yeah, well, you know, you've been around the block, so to speak, right?
Been here for a long time.
Yeah.
A part of the brand for a long time.
Yeah, no, I've had longer than most, right? Yeah. You've done a lot to help bring on new owners, right? And doing that through not only members but staff, right? Training them up. So I think it'll be really exciting to understand what you're doing in club and how you've had that success. I wanted to start off talking about understanding the importance of the consumer experience, right, inside of the club. And I think a lot of that is highlighted through your social media, your ratings, right? So I got on Yelp this morning. I want to say that it's pretty exciting. You have a 4.8 or 4.9 star review on there out of 254 reviews. So that's pretty exciting. And then your Google is at a 4.7 as well. So
That's actually good to hear. That's not something that's not part of my key points to really check on. So it's actually good to hear that.
oh, so you're not looking at that every day, huh?
No, not every day. I mean, we have some certain focused highlights things that we do, and that's not one of them. But that's good, man. I'm glad. That means we're doing our job in house, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, the camp, it's funny, I had a consultant that we were speaking to probably 2 months ago, and they said that the camp is typically 10 to 15% higher when it comes to reviews, right? Reputation, I guess, is what they call it, than the fitness industry as a whole, right? The industry as a whole is hovering around like a 4.4, 4.5, right? Most of our locations are at a 4.6, 4.7. You happen to be even above that at a 4.8, 4.9, so congratulations again.
My team's doing great, definally.
Well, there you go, right? Give
on
credit
my
to the
team.
team, yeah. Well, look, I wanted to start off by reading some of the reviews, right? I went on, I found a couple. So here we go. Best staff ever, and it feels more like a family than a gym, right? I really like that. Awesome is an understatement from the owner to the trainers, right? Thank you, Arnaldo, for being an amazing camp transformation owner. Our success in staying healthy and fit is your success, right? And then I'll round off with one more. Love this place. All the trainers are awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right? You know, so credit to the staff. So tell us a little bit about what's going on inside of there. How are you able to create you and your team, able to create such a positive consumer experience?
Honestly, when I step into the facility, and I always remind my staff, you got to put your head on where the client's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if a client's walking in, they expect to be excited, appreciated, have that great experience because, we have gyms on every corner, right? That's our competition. Yeah. So just highlighting that, making sure that whenever a client comes in, they're greeted, they're treated like family, you're going to know their name, you're going to make sure that by the time they leave, they're going to have that memory attached with it. And that's every day, and it's kind of ingrained in our system. Hey, know their names, make them feel excited, because at the end of the day, a lot of these clients don't want to come to the gym, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you can make that the best part of their day, they're going to want to create that habit, right? So that's ultimately what my staff, I say myself, but it's my staff doing all the great work, right? Connecting with the clients, engaging with the clients, understanding their needs, wants, and just creating the experience that they want to continue coming. And kudos to them, because that's them doing the work, not me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important too. You mentioned, not everybody wants to go to the gym, right?
100%.
There's definitely days I get up and I'm like, man, I don't necessarily want to go. I know I need to go, but I think it's hey, I'm gonna see so and so, right?
100%.
They're gonna say hi to me. They're gonna greet me with a smile. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna have a good workout. I think is part of it. I feel good about myself. Yeah. But I think those interactions probably make it just a little bit better, right?
Absolutely, and not being a huge 20,000 square foot facility. Our staff has the opportunity to know your wants, your needs, your expectations, and building that little extra connection to where now you are held a little bit more accountable to come in, because we're going to notice you're not coming in.
Yeah.
We're not going to say your name today and, damn, Susie didn't come in today. What's going on with Susie?
That's right, right?
You're supposed to be here today. Oh, man, this happened. Well, at least now they know. Wow, they took the time to say, why didn't you show up? So it's little extra things that they appreciate, and that's what keeps them there, right? Keeps them happy.
Well, and you can't do that with big box fitness, right? You got 3,500, 4,000, 5,000 members. you just can't do that, right?
Impossible.
And so I
I
think
wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's gonna require them
it
to
has a
work
lot of manpower,
more.
right? Yeah, it's impossible from an employee standpoint, right? At that point, but I think that's that's why boutique fitness is exploding, right? It's the fastest growing segment in the fitness industry for the last 5 years, and it is expected to continue to be, especially after COVID, right? People are realizing that they don't want to be a number. They don't want to, pay their $10, go in and do things on their own. Yeah. If that worked, people would have been working out at their homes, right? At-home fitness would be the dominant segment of the fitness market, and it's not.
I've been involved with the camp since 2013 as a trainer. Mm-hmm. Now becoming an owner, like I've seen the shift.
Right.
It used to be, I don't care what the equipment is. I'm just coming in just to have a good workout. Now they care about the cleanliness of the facility. They care about how they're being greeted. They care about if you know their name. So those little things, they attach that to the facility, right? To the clients,
right.
to the employees. So, all that little stuff matters.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned
a lot more than it did before, 100%. So I saw that shift going.
Yeah, well, it's especially with social media, right? Everybody's filming their workouts now. They're posting 100%. Their workouts, do it for the gram, so to speak. It's
so funny because all the clients notice these little things that I do. Like now I have like mints in the bathroom. So what I do is I take all these classes. I go other gyms and I see what they're doing. I was like, man, I can do that. I can do it better, And now I have like little hair ties in the bathroom. Little mints in the bathroom to make them feel a little bit more special about themselves, about the facility, because they pay a monthly fee and they expect it to be great. I want to give them that, right? So yeah, these little things that I get from everywhere else that I'm like, hey, I should be doing that, and boom, I implement it.
Man, you may have
a little value.
Well, you may have raised the bar to something that nobody else ever will, because I got to tell you right now, I can't tell you how many times my wife and I have gone to the gym and she doesn't have a hair tie. And you mentioned hair ties in the bathroom.
I have hair ties in the bathroom.
You might just get people stopping off on their way to a date, right? A breath mint and a hair tie.
So yeah, that's what you expect as San Dimas.
Well, that's pretty good, man. Well, I think the consumer experience, and I said do it for the gram, but a lot of it starts with like the design, the layout of the facility, right? And San Dimas, you took that over several years ago, and I was speaking with Ron a little bit ago, and he said, I got to tell you, one of the first things Arnaldo did was he went in there and he renovated the front lobby area. And he goes, man, it had such a clean look to it that the moment you walked in, it was like an elevated experience, right? So let's talk about that. Let's focus on that, because I think the design, the layout, the overall vibe.
And I'm redoing it again.
So yeah, that's right. You're welcome.
So yeah, and I'm doing it again. So yeah, I always tell my employees, like, when a client walks in here, they want to like feel a sense of like appreciation for where they go.
Right.
When they step into this facility, hey, this is my facility. I go here and this is what we have, and it just looks clean. Right. So that's always what I try to shoot for, is when I walk. And then as a consumer myself, when I go to restaurants, when I walk into, these are the little things that I think of.
Right.
Like if they can't clean their baseboards, like how are their food going to taste? So
right.
Hey, if I can't clean away, what is everything? If I can't even say hi, what is the experience going to be?
Right.
So when I walk into a facility, I take a step back and, hey, how can I do this a little better? So that's exactly what I do. So right when somebody walks in, open glass, like the sun is shining through.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a front desk off to the side. It's in your face. While you walk in, somebody will say, what's up?
Right.
As loud as they can, right? Because they want to greet you. So they already hit with an employee right when they walk in. And then, I keep everything clean, nice, and I redid it then, and I noticed a shift. Everybody wants that boutique look, right?
That's
a little
right.
spa feel. So I love the way the camp is going with the new design and the colors. So updating that's going to be a little better. So.
Yeah, I think the new design, I think, it's got that, as you said, like a spa feel to it almost, right? Like you come in but you come in and I'm with you. You go to a restaurant and you walk in and it looks nice, right? And it creates that ambiance. And, again, for me and my wife, it's like, hey, this is going to be a good date, right? Like this was worth taking our time coming to this place for dinner, because you got a lot of options.
Exactly.
Same thing with fitness. I'm going out, I got a lot of options. There's a lot of different places I can go, right? So when I come in that wow factor, the moment you walk in.
That's what people want.
That's what people want, yeah. And so, I think that's exciting. I like that you said the front desk is right in the center, because sometimes you come in, man, you can't find an employee.
You're like looking left.
If I wanted self-serve, I'd be someplace else, right? I'd be at one of those places where I scan a fob, I walk in, and I can figure it out, right? So I like that you have someone there to greet you right away, say, hey, how's your day going? And I'm big on that, right?
Yeah.
You know, when I was running clubs, I always thought to myself, I want someone to acknowledge that you came in, say hi to you. You know, the staff's not up there talking to themselves, right? Their job is to make you feel warm and welcome, because, you know, the gym should be the highlight of your day.
And that's honestly part of my systems.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a lot of camp locations do it, but I mean, part of the way I have my staff doing is pens and papers down.
Right.
First 10 minutes, and that's just all connecting with clients. And as they're working out, then you go back to what you need to do.
Right.
That adds that little element to where, hey, they know I'm coming, they know I'm leaving, and creates that sense of that's the way they choose to like build relationships, right? Because that's what it is. They're building relationships within that time, and then from there, that's how you end up being successful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially someone whose first time it is there,
100%.
right? You know, because, man, that can be intimidating. It can be off-putting, right? They don't want to interrupt somebody if there's a conversation going on. But, man, they don't know where to go. They don't know how to get into the class. They don't know where the restrooms are, right? So I think that's really important that you have somebody up there to kind of direct that flow, right? Get them connected with member services, introduce them to the trainer, you know what I mean? Set expectations.
Anybody that comes to the facility, they're going to be greeted.
Yep.
They're going to give them a little tour, and they're going to be introduced to the trainer.
Yeah.
Relieve a little bit of that anxiety, and then from there, they're going to be watched the entire time. So the trainer already knows, hey, this person's new to my class.
Right.
I'm going to make sure that they have all the modifications they need, or they feel a little accomplished when they leave. So that's the main point with that. So
Well, and talk to us about some of like the, because I think a lot of people don't focus on this, but they probably should, like equipment placement, right? And things like that, so that the club has a nice flow to it, but it also presents well, right? What are you guys doing there to keep it fresh, keep it exciting, but also ensure that, like, as I have a good workout, there's like a good rhythm to it? Does that make sense?
No, I can get that. I mean, let's see, the way the camp San Dimas is set up is it's almost like a donut shaped.
Okay.
So we have, when you walk in, you can split off to the right. That's more of like the boot camp section.
Okay.
Where you have all the equipment they need to run a boot camp. If you split off to the left, it's all the strength training equipment.
Yeah.
So they have Stairmasters, they have cable machines, they have functional training machines, they have all the squat racks. So that's a good flow. You're not having somebody go to everybody go to one section and clutter up over there in the right corner, you know. So they're all flowing in a big circle, and I mean,
you know, I like that because if you come into class and you're early and there's a class going on, you can still come in and access a lot of equipment, right? Which I see a lot of members do. They come in, you know, I would do that, right? If class is at 5:30, just pick an arbitrary time, and I got there at 5, I don't want to sit in the lobby for a half an hour, man. I want to go get something done, right? Like, you come in, lift weights, you can see what's going on in the class, the music's going, the energy's high, you can see other members, right? So there's probably people, you know, you wave to them while they're doing class or whatever. But then you can jump into the class after that, right? Same thing. If you finish up class, you know, you don't have to funnel out right away. You can still stay in there, be part of the energy. Exactly. You and 2 other people who were taking class together can go lift weights together now. So I love that.
That's usually how it is.
yeah, and I love that, right? You know,
they come in by themselves, and then they meet a group of friends, and
you know, that was another
connected also.
And you were there. What was it? ABC Fitness Solutions. They were talking about the average length of time that somebody spends at the camp versus other fitness facilities, right? And the average time was 1 hour and 45 minutes. The class is only 45 minutes, right? So, yeah, right? So people linger, exactly, right? Like, that's how you know they're having a good time, though, right? Because at other places, I mean, we're beating them by like an hour. They're coming in, taking class, leaving. I mean, you know, I guess if I'm the owner, I don't know how I feel about that. To me, that doesn't sound like people are having a great time, though, right? Like, class is 45 minutes. They're here for 46 minutes, right? Just enough time to turn around and leave.
What we have is, I mean, we're so connected with our clients. We know their names. That they want to sit there and talk to us. And sometimes we're like, I need to get back to work.
Right.
We need to go hang out outside of the work.
You know, I think but that's a good point, right? Like that personalized service and the engagement. You know, because again, that's what people want. They want it, especially in the boutique community, right? But you're paying a little bit extra, so you want a little bit extra, right? And I think you want to feel like you matter. Exactly. You want to feel like you're connected to the staff, you're connected to the members. You know, you're getting what you pay for, 100%. So to speak. What kind of parameters or coaching or whatever, what do you give the employees to ensure that they're doing? Because it sounds like they're just doing it on their own, right? Is that just a natural, organic thing that's occurring, or is there training that you put them through for that? Help me understand that.
I mean, doing a hiring, I mean, I've always been blessed with the same team for quite a bit.
Okay.
So we don't go through a lot of change here in San Dimas. They've all been there since I maybe owned the place. A lot of them are still the same. So, I mean, they kind of already know exactly how, I mean, they do that on their own. But as I onboard a client, or not a client, but as I onboard a new employee, I mean, I set the expectation.
Right.
You know, hey, we're here to create memorable experiences. We want you to be outgoing. We want to make sure that you provide everything you can for the client. And, I mean, you're positive, you're engaging, you're having fun at the same time. I want all my employees to have fun.
Right.
So, I mean, as you set that precedent, I mean, they're going to tend to want to have fun and engage with the clients themselves. And, I mean, I don't think I'm a hard owner to work for, but, you know, I do set expectations high because I believe they can deliver that, you know.
Right.
But I'm blessed with my employees. I'm beyond happy.
Well, you never hire the perfect employee.
Yeah.
I think that's something we all say, right? But you got to develop them. I think when you said, hey, make sure you're having fun, you know, 100%. If the employee's having fun, there's a good chance people are going to see that, right? 100%. And then the members are going to have a good time. We get a lot of new owners or sometimes even existing owners, and they say, oh, I have trouble finding people. You don't have trouble finding. I mean, you've had people for 4 years, it sounds like, right?
Seriously, usually a lot of, like, every now and then I have, like, I've had maybe one manager change since I've owned the facility.
Jeez, wow.
So, and then he kind of just fell on my lap, and he's been, and when I hire a manager, I always tell him, hey, I'm not here for you to just do what I do. I'm here for you to grow the facility.
Right.
So setting the expectation of, hey, this is my expectation of you, and I want you to not only exceed it, I don't want you to just meet it, I want you to exceed it.
Right.
And from there, they kind of like, hey, this is your facility, treat it as your own. What would you do if this was your spot? And then he'd be like, I'll do this. They get excited for it, you know, because now they have a sense of like, okay, I'm just like my facility, you know. I would do this and have input in the direction that we're going. I mean, we all know the vision of what we want for my facility or for our facility, you know,
right.
And what are we going to do to get there? And just making sure all the employees are vibing around the same, the same vision, the same direction.
Right.
And then they all kind of tend to do it, and they're having fun doing it. I mean, I see them having fun doing it. So
and you're having fun doing it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm there all the time.
But I think that's important, right? Because a lot of owners tend not to empower their staff, right? It's kind of like, well, here's the expectations, you know, here's the 5 check boxes, check box, right? And it's kind of like, you know, check in, do this, check out, right? You know, and you get paid for the day. Whereas to me, it sounds like you're saying, okay, look, I mean, this is where the facility is now. We want to get it here, but how do you think we get it there, right? And you're allowing them to take some responsibility and say, okay, this is my gym. How do I grow the business?
And what I usually do is my main goal for my employee, I kind of give them my vision for them. Like a lot of them don't see themselves a certain place, right?
Right.
So I give my vision, hey, my vision for you is to maybe open up your new spot, and this is what it takes.
Right.
Like, do you see yourself owning this? Like, you're here, you're running this facility every day, like, you're being successful at it.
Right.
So now let's take it to the next step, right? So what's your next step for you? And this is what you need to learn. This is what you need to do to be successful. And when they get there, they kind of, hey, I can open my own spot. And they transition to open up their own franchise.
That's right.
Do something within, open up their own business. So that's my ultimate goal with all my staff is I'm going to teach you everything you need to know, back end and front end, to run your own spot. And then you can, when you're there, you can decide whether you want to stay or you go, and I'll help you throughout the process. So that's one thing I take the approach at. It's like, I want to see them flourish. I want them to be successful. And when they get there, it makes me happy. So when they see that, I'm assuming like they take more pride into that. Hey, he wants me to open my own spot, so I'm going to do everything I can to be there, you know? So I think, I've trained I worked over a lot of camp owners now that own their own spots. So that's cool to see them flourish and grow.
Well, so it's working.
It's definitely working, you know? So, having that mindset with your staff, I talk to a lot of owners that are kind of like, they like their management, they don't want them to go anywhere.
Right.
So they kind of hold information,
Yep.
right? So we're like, hey, you want them to do better for themselves, be you in the future, right? So that's how I kind of approach all my training and how my employees, so I want them to see them grow.
Well, and I think that's, we talked about it at convention, right? That was one of the big topics. Like, okay, employees are the new commodity, right? How do you attract employees? How do you retain employees? And I think what you're doing there, where when you hire them and say, hey, look, you're going to have all the skills you need after 2 years. Yeah. You're going to know how to run the facility. So what is your goal? Yeah. How do you take the next step to ownership? How do you take the next step to being a franchisee, or, doing something else if that's what you want to go, but at least, get the skills here, right? Yeah. And I think enough people don't do that. Yeah. You know, again, they're just hiring somebody, as you said, right, so that they don't have to come in, and then they don't want them to go, right? But, you know, they're also, you know, shy with the raises, and then people leave anyway, right? So it's like, dang, you're fighting a losing battle either way, right?
So, I mean, I want all my employees to own their facility, and it's a matter of who's the next in line to get there, you know?
What are some of the other things? Because employees is a big part of it, right? So, I mean, obviously, we got to keep the employees happy, and that's going to lead to an amazing consumer experience. What are some of the other things you're doing at the Camp San Dimas to engage with the members, either inside or outside the facility? So, fitness challenges, hikes, movies, whatever. What are some of the things you're doing?
Man, we do hikes. We just started doing hikes.
Okay, yeah.
Clients love that. We do barbecues. We do kickball events. We do football events. I mean, all the way down to, like, helping us get new clients, engaging with members like that. In our front lobby, we'll see our board, right? And we keep track of how many members. Our goal is 100 members in, like, 5 months.
Okay.
We're halfway there. It's only been 2 months.
Right on. Very good.
And, like, engaging them with that. Like, hey, if we get this many more members, we're going to throw an end-of-the-year party, so let's do it.
Oh,
so it's
what
kind
a
of
great
like,
idea.
they're like, I want an end-of-year party, right? So they're, like, referring people, referring friends. And so, I mean, that's a good way to engage them. That we've noticed.
We have to start charging for the podcast now because, man, that is a heck of an idea,
so
right?
But, like, really cool. So,
get the members involved in like, building the member. Dude, I've been doing this 20 years. I've never heard that. I mean, that's a gold mine. What a great idea.
So we have a 100-member goal, and then as they leave, every month we update it. So, you know, members come, member go. Right?
Yeah,
so we do a net positive.
Okay, yeah.
If we sign up 10 members but 5 cancel, that's only 5 members.
That's right.
So
you gotta tell the members, you better start. Like, you gotta bring more people in, or start being nicer to the people who are here.
So we've been doing really. My management staff has been doing really well with that. Man. Engaging it, always highlighting it. Clients see it as they walk out. Oh, we're at 50 this today. Okay, we're gonna do it better.
Okay, yeah.
So like that's a great. I mean,
Well, then they're thinking about like what coworkers will want to come, what family 100%. Members want to come. They're not even shy about asking neighbors. Yeah. Hey, you see me go to? Why'd you come to the camp? Right? Like I'm trying to get this end of the year party, man.
So we just. I mean, we're all vibing on hitting this goal and just bringing all the clients along with us. And, hey, if we're over here stressing out in the back trying to hit this goal, hey, they can help us out big time because clients are our best referrals, you know.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
Love it. They've been here and better than leads that you get offline, right?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, you know, a referral, what are they, 10 times more likely to join, right? So it's like, it's a no-brainer. What a great idea. So you're empowering the staff to take control of the location, but now you're empowering the members to take responsibility for the growth of the location. And they're like your cheerleaders, right? I mean, they love the place. So they're like brand ambassadors. So the more of them you can get involved, the less work you got to do, right?
Just makes it easier. I mean, a better environment, right?
Right, yeah. Man, what a great idea. Any other things you guys are doing from a fitness perspective to engage the members? You know, I think did we just do Camp Ranks, Camp Strong? What did we just do?
We do camp ranks.
Yep.
Testing them, see how strong they get. We have a board on the wall with top 5 in pull-ups, top 5 in sit-ups, top 5 in this and that, and we'll have a day where all the clients can come and show how strong they are, how much they can lift, and their leaderboards on the top of the wall. So it takes pride in them. You know, they worked hard to get that number
right.
spot.
Well, bragging rights.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right?
Get my name on the wall and keep it there.
And we do a lot of little things. It's kind of hard to
yeah, it's a lot, right? Okay, Kyle, I gave you one really good free idea. You guys start charging me after this, right? All right, well, let's shift a little here. We'll talk about technology, right? Okay. I mean, geez, for the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, technology has been the #1 trend in fitness, right? So wearable technology and club technology. There's fitness app technology, right? I know the Camp San Dimas doing a lot of different things there. There's Camp on Demand app. You obviously have the MyZone connection, et cetera. Talk to me about how that is altering the consumer experience, obviously for the better, right? Because it's the #1 trend for almost half a decade now. And I think it'll continue to be the #1 trend. I don't think fitness technology is getting replaced by anything anytime soon because it's getting better. The UI is getting better. Yeah. It's getting slicker, right? You know what I mean? So, and it's just more accessible, right? Because now it not only works inside of the clubs, but a lot of these things work outside of the club, right? Absolutely. So it creates that external community. And then you have social media. So what kind of things are you doing through technology to engage the members, engage the staff, and really create a good consumer experience?
We're doing it all. I mean,
Everything, Kyle.
we have a My Zone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think all these are just tools, right?
Right.
So tools to measure output and tools to measure our transformation. And I mean, every little tool that we have to our advantage, the client is going to benefit from.
Yeah.
So having somebody use the My Zone and can see their heart rate and want that box to go yellow to red, it's going to just elevate them a little bit more. They can track, and we have little challenges throughout the month where they can track who scores the highest every single month. So the clients are kind of very competitive in that aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, the app that the camp provides, I mean, as your franchise, you got to go into Trainerize, right? I think that's what the camp app, right?
Yeah, the camp app, Camp on Demand.
That has everything they can track with your nutrition.
Right.
You can either upload, hey, somebody's going on vacation. Don't worry, Susie. We're going to upload workouts for you can do in the hotel. Right. So having all these little things only add value to what you're providing, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the workout. It's, hey, you can do workouts at home. You can do workouts here. We're creating a community so we can all go together. You can, not only can you just know your heart rate, you can see how many calories you burn, heart rate, and everything else, right? So it's just all the little tools that, and some of them just want to just see it, right? They're not really utilizing. I can have it if I want to. They don't all want it.
It's instant gratification, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's like you said, you're looking at the board and you can say, okay, I'm in yellow.
Yeah.
If I get it to red, right? How long can I keep it in the red,
Exactly.
right? You know, and then as I switch to the next station, I'm back at green, yellow, red, right? Yeah. So it gives you instantaneous feedback on how your workout's going, which I think that's a big part of it, though, too. Like, I know I worked out, but show me that I worked out. I mean, with my zone, if I forgot it, sometimes I just want to go home. I'd be like, man, I'm not going to have the graph at the end. People, people can't they can't comment on it and go, wow, you killed it today, right? And then you upload the photos and everything with it. I'm like, man, it's almost not worth not working out.
And then Instagram, I noticed that one of my employees is just really always posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
Loving Instagram. So I was like, I'm going to pay you a little bit extra. Can you just highlight clients on your camp our camp Instagram? Can you create cool little videos? Cool. So that's her responsibility.
Yeah.
So she just goes around creating content, and she posts it on her San Dimas Instagram site and Facebook. And I mean, that's worth a lot, too. Just putting this out there.
And I've seen the videos, and people love, I mean, look, it's just like, you know, what's the sweetest sound? Your own name. Yeah. Well, you know what looks the best? You, right? So anytime I can see me in a video and my gym is posting me working out, you got to feel so good about yourself, right? You know, it used to be, you know, when Facebook first rolled around, you take a photo at the end. And people loved that, right? But, man, when you can put together a video, and you got so many different editing tools on a cell phone now, and all the clubs are doing that, right? They're posting these short little, 25, 30-second videos of members working out.
They're just engaging.
Right? But it is engaging, right? And then, people repost it, they share it to their friends, and again, that just drives the organic traffic, right? Hey, Susie, that looks like fun. Where are you going? I'm going to the Camp San Dimas. You should talk to Arnaldo or the team about coming in, free workout, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so I think social media has done a lot to change it. I think that's actually really cool, though, too, that, again, you kind of found an employee who was already doing it, saying, hey, look, I appreciate what you're doing to promote the gym. I'll pay you a little bit more. Just keep doing it, right? And they obviously like doing it, or they wouldn't have done it in the first place, right?
It's a lot of tedious work to go into that. Goes into.
I don't know if you tried. It's another generation, right? Like I can do the boomerang. If it's beyond boomerang, I'm out, right? So I'm with you. I would happily pay somebody else to take the point on that one. But I think it's an underutilized. I think it's becoming more and more utilized, right? But I think Reels and TikToks and things like that, like self-promotion of the club. I think that's going to be the new way to do it. Right?
And then, we have clients come and go, and they always see these videos, and it just ignites their like, hey, I want to come back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that was another thing we saw at convention, right? That the Camp Transformation Center is like 5 times the rate of members coming back, which just means that you left a lasting impression, right? There's so many bars, restaurants I've been to that I go through there once, and that's it, right? And then you have those favorite spots that you go back over and over and over again. Same thing here, right? So I think that's really exciting, and it means that environment inside is something that's memorable,
100%.
Right? So I think that's great, right? Well, let's talk about, how do you continue to adjust, right? Because trends in fitness change. I mean, you've been in the fitness game a long time like I have, right? It's very different than it was a decade ago, 5 years ago, heck, even 2 years ago, right? Getting through COVID, and now here we are, right? So do you have a system in place where you're getting like feedback from the members or the staff, or a way that they can communicate, hey, we love the place, but this is some of the things we'd like to see added?
I mean, that's why I expanded 2,200 square feet of the facility.
Right.
Only because I noticed that before it was just everybody just wanted to do just hit training and boot camp. Now they just pushing more to like strength training. And,
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I added a whole section with all strength training to accommodate that, right?
Yeah.
In hopes of not only them wanting it, people walking in the door are going to appreciate that too and see that as a value, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I think that's a testament to your
Yeah.
club's success, though, right? Because people come in and they're overweight, which is our specialty, okay? And you lose 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds, right? And the next thing you get, air quotes, I want to tone up.
Yep.
Well, you got to have the strength training equipment then, right? And so that's just a testament to the success that the club is having, is that you have so many people losing 40, 60, 80 pounds that now they're ready to take on strength training. Because it can seem daunting, I think, initially to try and tackle it all at once, right?
And
so
as you have people coming in, I mean, you have somebody that's maybe 100 pounds overweight, it's allowing them to see the journey, right?
right.
And then you can actually walk one of your clients up and say, hey, you see her right now? She used to be like you.
Right.
And now she's toned and lean and having fun and feeling better about herself. Like,
Right.
that gets them to sign up, right?
Over here
That's
crushing the
like,
weights.
100%.
And yeah, right, you know?
It's not me.
Yeah, you start here,
Susie,
and then you make the
get over
circle, right?
here.
We talked
Check
about
this
this,
girl
right?
out.
You come in, you do the
Yeah.
boot camps, lose the weight, and then you're going to
So kinda see
progress
the
over to
full
strength
journey,
training.
right?
Yeah, right.
So they see
yeah.
the full journey, and I mean, that's what we try to explain to them when they're trying to sign up.
No, I think
When
that's
we're
great.
Selling the facility, you know?
I think that's really, really good, man. Well, look, we've tackled a lot. Last thing is, you know, at the camp, we're really big on creating memorable moments, right? And for us, we've identified 10 emotions that we have to hit, right? So the client wants to feel acknowledged. They want to feel important, successful, happy. They want to feel motivation, inspiration, hope. They want to feel our passion to support them, okay? And so which of those speaks to you, your facility, your team, your staff? Like, is there any one that's more important, do you think? Or do you kind of just focus on them all? I mean, help me understand that.
I mean, it's going to go by case basis, right?
Yeah.
Somebody's needs is different than somebody else's needs.
Right.
As long as we're hitting all those points with everybody, we're going to meet somebody's needs, right? 'Cause, I mean, a lot of people are coming there kicking butt, but they don't realize it that themselves that, hey, I've lost 10 pounds and I look way different. And when you pull out your phone, like, this is what you used to look like.
That's right. That's right.
Like, wow, I didn't even realize that, because they're not in their mind. They're not keeping track of it, right? So, I mean, acknowledging that they're changing.
Right.
Not only just how they look, it's the behaviors, right? Now they're the gym rat coming in all the time when they never used to be that way.
That was one of my favorite things, right? But that really was. That was one of my favorite things is, you know, people say, well, what are you guys in? You're in the health and fitness business. I tell them, you know, I don't think that's right. I really think we're in the self-esteem business because you get those people that are 60, 80, 100 pounds overweight. They come in and it's like, hi, I'm here for my first weigh, right? But then they come in and they lose the weight and they start to know the staff and they start to know other members and they go from being like a wallflower to one of the most outgoing people, right? They're like social butterflies inside of the club. When new members come in, they remember that was them, so
and
they'll walk up, right? Right? It is. It is. But they'll walk up and they'll go, hi, you know, my name is, you know, Phil. I used to be 100 pounds overweight. Is this your first day? Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, cool. You know, if you want, you can be in my group today. 100%. And you know what I mean? And they'll take them through the workout. And it's like, dang, Phil's doing all the work, right, for free.
And we love
But it works,
we
right?
love
It works.
And we have plenty here there at San Dimas. They love the facility themselves. They've been there since it's been open. And, And they're coming back every day, 5 times a week. I'm just like, well, you work out more than I do.
Yeah, they do, right? But those are the people. I mean, and you know, you'll like see them friending them on Facebook and Instagram. And it's like, well, dang, Phil's really knocked it out of the park here today. But I think that's really important because, you know, there's a lot of places where you go for the first day and it's the staff member shows you around and then they go sit at their desk and you're just kind of there for an hour, right? You know, and it's like, well, I mean, is that what you want? Or do you want to come in where someone introduced themselves, they friended you on Facebook and Instagram, you know, the first time they met you, they sat with you for the 45-minute workout, did all the stations with you, high-fived you, cheered you on, and then at the end said, when are you coming back?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a completely different consumer experience. Then I came in, I got a tour, I had to kind of do my own thing for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I left, you know, kind of unsure.
That's usually, I mean, I've already purchased 2 locations.
Right.
All underperforming, and it's like that's what they're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the camp's going to give you the systems to be successful, right? Now it's up to the individual to go in there and implement the list you just said to make everybody feel like that to be successful, right? And that's all it really is. If you touch all those points that you listed, I mean, if you make every client feel that way,
Yeah.
they're not going to want to leave.
No.
Right? If you create an atmosphere that's memorable, get them the experience that they want, touch on their emotions, and that's what everybody wants. And doing that, I mean, you're going to be successful. Location's going to be successful. Not just the clients, it's your staff.
Right.
If everybody's vibing together, they're all having fun doing it, and they understand, like, hey, this is everybody's vision. This is my vision. This is what I want for you. And just do these points, what you just listed, right? Make them every client feel this way. Just be excited to be here and have fun. They're going to be successful.
Well, I think it's important, too, that you create memorable moments and that you connect the members. I forget, it was one of the big box gyms. It was like a decade ago, so maybe it's a little bit different. But, they did this study. I think they surveyed, 30,000 people that had quit their gym that year, right, nationwide. And they said, okay, why did you quit, right? Was it the equipment? Yeah. Was it the hours? Were you commuting too far? All the excuses that you get, right? And it turned out that the number one reason people quit was because their friend had quit too. So it's like, man, so it doesn't matter what kind of equipment you got, doesn't matter what your store hours are, doesn't matter if the club's even clean, right? And so the more you can connect members to members, right, and make them feel like they're part of a community, part of a family, that's what's going to increase retention. And by creating these memorable moments, right, through the workouts, trainers saying people's names, right, things like that, you're going to increase retention, which you've obviously mastered at this point, right? And you're going to increase employee retention too, though, right? Because everybody just loves that environment.
Absolutely.
Well, kind of as our last thing here, what advice would you give to either an existing or possibly somebody new who says, hey, I hear all these great things that Arnaldo is saying about the camp. I'm thinking about being a franchise owner. Yeah. What's some advice you would give them, to kind of get through this journey?
For existing franchise owners, is focus on the little things.
Right.
Sometimes a lot of little things are compounding, right? Even the little micro things, right, that we think is not important. We're more focused on how the facility looks as opposed to, like, engaging with our own staff, training our own staff to be successful, giving all of our staff the tools they need to be successful so they feel comfortable in their job, right? And the same with clients, making sure all the clients get enough attention. Not only just some owners, not even operators, right? So making sure to relay that message to their staff, like, hey, if they're happy, everybody's going to be happy, and everybody's going to have a good time in this place, right? For existing possible franchise owners, the camp itself has awesome system. I love the product. I've been involved with the camp since I was a trainer back in like 2013, 14.
You're coming up on a decade.
All right. And now I've owned multiple facilities. You know? So, they give you the tools you need to be successful. Now it's about believing in yourself and applying all the tools you have so that you can execute.
Excellent. No, but that's solid advice, right? Like, I think you're right. Sometimes people, they get too into the weeds, or they're not focused on the consumer. They're not focused on the staff, right? And when you put those two things together, you're creating an environment where people are going to have a good time. They're going to be excited to come and work out, and they're going to want to come back. They're going to want to stay, and they're going to want to come back, right? Arnaldo, man, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully we'll have you back on again soon.
Anytime.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.